I've had a few people ask me, like, what's my actual story? And just to give you a super quick rundown, I was born into a commune in Mexico, super poor. We were like a gypsy family that traveled around Mexico, Guatemala. My little brother was born in Belize. He was born with hydrocephalus. He's got brain damage, and he's been special needs his whole life. But that is why we ended up coming back to the States. Both my parents were American. Somebody's 2,500 feet. You see me flying around in my own helicopter, you think, oh, it must be super rich, must be nice. Well, I come from nothing. Like, none of my family has a college education. I don't have a college education. I just like to do fun stuff. And I'm not afraid of hard work to do the fun stuff. While I was in high school, I worked several different jobs. Restaurant hostess. I scraped lard off of the floor in a bakery. When I was 12, I had a paper route. I've always been able to make money enough to buy whatever I need for myself, and I'm also super frugal. I don't buy myself anything. I wear the same clothes for years. That stuff's not important to me. What's important to me is doing really fun things, and for me that was flying airplanes. When I was a teenager, I got to go up and on a flight. My stepdad took me on a Cessna 172, and I looked down at all the little houses, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I am like up above it all. I don't have to sit in that traffic. Ultimate freedom. So I worked and paid for flight lessons while I was in high school, got my private license. Thought I was going to make that my career, but got kind of sidetracked with a few other things. I ended up snowboarding. Hey, the racetrack's around here. There's the racetrack. I ended up snowboarding for a decade, lived in Tahoe. I went to New Zealand for their winters, and I mean, I did all this just by waiting tables, saving up money, and going and doing the stuff, and then living super frugally. And I mean, like, renting one bedroom out of a house for 3 of us, and we all slept in the same bed, 2 of my best girlfriends. Like, you just do the stuff that you need to do to make the shit happen, right? And then I had a car accident. It was a hit and run. I couldn't snowboard anymore. I was kind of lost for a while, and somebody told me about helicopter school. I had moved to Hawaii just to get away from the winter for one season, and met somebody at a party that told me about this helicopter school, and I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you get a loan for $50,000. You go through school. It takes about a year. You teach at that school after you got your instructor's rating, and then you go get any job you want, because all the Vietnam guys are retiring. So once you have 1,000 hours, you lots of jobs. And I was like, huh. I had another beer, and I told my best friend about it, and the next day we both walked into helicopter school, and I did exactly that. Although I waited tables for the first $20,000 of it and paid as I went, and then I got a loan for $30,000 and finished it. It only cost $50,000 back then, probably like $120 now. And then I was a flight instructor. And then I did all the early low-time helicopter pilot jobs that it took to work my way up in my career. Moved to Alaska, worked in man camps, living out in the middle of nowhere, saved all my money, and then I met my guy, and...
Caution, terrain.
He and I decided...
Caution, terrain, warning, terrain.
Super annoying, I'm on final.
Warning, terrain.
I think I'm going to do a circle and then see if Mike will come out here and show me a good spot to land. And that is all super yucky, soft dirt that's going to blow up and cause a big old brownout. Mike's not going to help me whatsoever. He's not even looking at me. I'll try calling him. Hey, so where are you guys parking? Way over there? Okay. I was hoping I could come land on the other side of the fence, right kind of where you guys are standing, but it looks so dusty. Okay, I'll see you shortly. Bye. Get rid of my glasses so I can tell where it's flat. That's not dusty at all. This is perfect. Okay, weight on gear. There it is. Throttle down. She's going to yell at us. Hey, yep. I know I have low RPM. I don't think I finished my story. So Mike, and after I'd worked like a full career as a utility pilot, Mike and I and another partner, Douglas, bought a used R-44 and started our own helicopter business. We built that up over time, bootstrapped it, no debt, incurring no debt along the way. We would just take our profits each year and roll it back into the company. Generator goes off. I always make sure that generator was working, because now I can see that my voltage is 27.8. I'm good to go, and then I can turn it off. Engine out. And then it'll ding at me each time I get a red cast. I'll end up with 4 of them. We bought 3 R-44s, an R-66, an A-Star. It was an AS-350B2, and built it up over a decade. Utility work, mostly telecommunications, servicing Coast Guard sites, State of Alaska repeater sites, telephone sites, building, maintaining. I built a log cabin out in the middle of nowhere. That was on a TV show called Building Alaska. Set towers, set robot. NASA, actually JPL had this robot they were working on that could traverse icy moons, Jupiter's icy moons, Europa. So I moved that around a glacier for them. And here's Mike.
Hey, dear.
Hey, I can just lock up and walk over there if you want me to.
What's easiest?
Yeah, that's easier.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you in a minute.
Okay. Bye, dear.
Okay.
All kinds of random crazy jobs and a lot of geology. Gosh, I loved working with the USGS guys. I'd fly them around collecting rocks. I would have so much fun hanging out on beautiful mountaintops in national parks that I can't normally land in a helicopter, but because I'm with the USGS, I could. See, I can turn all of this off. Got 200 pounds. Get a little airflow. We did glacier tours. Hardest part for me is that I would have to hire and train new pilots. I was the chief pilot. My two partners were private pilots. They worked the other side of things. Douglas took care of maintenance and Mike took care of paperwork. I ran day-to-day operations and I was the chief pilot, did all the hiring and training and scheduling. And it was really tough taking 1,000-hour newbie fresh pilots that are used to flying in a rectangular box, and that's all they know as flight instructors, and then taking them into the real world and teaching them real world flying. That first job for most of those instructors is very challenging. They had so much freedom to go out and do all kinds of crazy things that they'd never done before, but I really wanted to give them a massive amount of training so they had the right tools to go out and do that. And that is a tough job. They usually stayed about a year. Once they had the skill set, then they moved on. Most of the time in good standing, but sometimes not. And that just started to really wear on me. Any business owners out there, I'm sure you guys know employees are the hardest part. And while I love many of them dearly, others of them cause some gray hair. So I'm a pilot. I like to fly. We decided to roll up the business, package it up, and sell it. And now we're back to doing what we wanted to do originally in the first place, and that was to fly our own helicopter recreationally. My mission in life is to play. This is what I have chosen for me. You choose what is important to you. It's all a matter of choices and priorities. And for me, I don't buy new clothes. I buy jet fuel. That's it. Thanks for listening.